Hey, hope you're having a good weekend so far. This is Mariah with Trinity Wellbeing, and I just wanted to encourage some of you women. I have been reading in Proverbs 31 this morning for a few hours, and I want to go through it with you guys, and just hopefully this will encourage someone. So let's just get right to it. Okay, Proverbs 31. If you have your Bibles, grab them. This will be a few minutes. So I'm going to be reading in the NIV. The sayings of King Lemuel, an inspired utterance his mother taught him. Listen, my son, listen, son of my womb. Listen, my son, the answer to my prayers. Do not spend your strength on women, your vigor on those who ruin kings. It is not for kings, Lemuel, it is not for kings to drink wine, not for rulers to crave beer, lest they drink and forget what has been decreed, and deprive all the oppressed of their rights. Let beer be for those who are perishing, and wine for those who are in anguish. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. Speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. Speak up and judge fairly. Defend the rights of the poor and needy. So this is what the woman in Proverbs 31, this is what she's saying to her son. And so just 4 points of that is don't chase women around. if you're a young man or any man, don't what that means is don't be lustful. Don't chase your desires and your lust. It's a waste of time, and just don't do that. The second point is don't get drunk. Don't drink too much. My past is a good example of what can happen when you spend your days drinking and getting wasted. A lot of bad things happen, and you end up wasting your life and possibly could harm others. And speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. The innocent, the children, the destitute. Speak up for them. Someone has to, because they can't. And my child right now is crying, but my husband's with her, so she's fine. And finally, for what the mother is telling her son, who is a king, judge fairly, and defend. So those are the main points that I got from that, and it's very encouraging because she's just very blunt and right to the point. Don't chase girls around and don't get drunk, okay? Like, if you can just manage to not do those two things, then you'll get far. You will get far in life. Okay, so let's go on to the wife of noble character, and this is really what I was digging into today. So, a wife of noble character. Who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. And so what I got from that is they are rare. A wife of noble character is rare and worth a lot. Rubies are worth a lot. And don't be afraid to be rare. Don't be afraid to not be like all the other women that you see on TV or in the world. Don't be afraid to not be like them. In fact, we are to be not like them at all. So it is a good thing. It is a good thing to be rare and to stick out in this world. Her husband trusts her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good and doesn't plot to harm him. That's very, very important to be an encouragement to our husbands, to help him, to work with him, to love him with all that we can and all that we have. And what my husband said about that point was he thinks that where it says her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value, that it could mean that as far as money goes, he can trust her with giving her some money and saying, here, can you go get this or use it however you want to. and he knows that she's going to spend it wisely. And so I thought that was a good interpretation of that. Okay, verse 13 through 15. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. So she works eagerly and willingly. And like the merchant ships, it reminds me of me kind of browsing the internet for hours and hours, searching for really good deals on coconut oil or different healthy food items, and just bringing the food in from afar. And some of our food is from afar because with the internet that we have today, we have that capability. So that's what I thought of when I read that. And she's searching for healthy food to feed her family. Even at night, she's searching. She gets up while it's still night, and she plans, she prepares, she makes lists, and she gets that food into her home. So verse 16 through 19, she considers a field and buys it. Out of her earnings, she plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her tasks. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. I have no idea what a distaff or even a spindle is, but I think it's one of those big, older machines that you can make blankets with and clothes with. So that's what that is. So she's buying and selling from her earnings. So she has a profitable business. This is something that's important to know about the Proverbs 31 woman, is that she does work. She does have, a business, her own business. She's a multitasker. So she's just spinning that spindle, drinking her coffee, ordering her food off the internet from afar. She's just getting it all done. And she's just a Wonder Woman. Okay. So, verse 20. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. So she is a giver. She's giving, 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 giving. Whatever she has, her time, her words, her money, her food, she has her arms wide open and saying, here, what can I help you with? What can I give to you? 21 through 22. When it snows, she has no fear for her household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes coverings for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. So she just is decked out in some velvet. So she's pretty fashionable. And she's taking care of her family. She is making clothes for her family. She knows what sizes all her kids are. She clothes all her children, and all her children are well taken care of. And she has no fear. I love this about her, that she just has absolutely no fear. 23 and 24, her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes his seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. So this is an idea of possibly what her business is, making clothes and selling clothes that she makes. And that's a pretty cool business. So 25 and 26, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. So everything she does and everything she says is with purpose. She has purpose for what she's saying. She's not just going around, gossiping and, kind of just idle, foolish words. She's not about that kind of thing. She has a purpose, and whatever she's saying, whatever she does is to encourage others, and she says it with strength and dignity. She is respectful to people, and she has no fear. Again, I see that, no fear. Because she's laughing. She's laughing at the days to come. She just isn't worried. She's just not. And that's just, I love that about her. And she's a wise teacher. So we see that she speaks with wisdom and has faithful instruction on her tongue. So she is teaching. She is teaching wisdom. 27 and 28, she watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. So she knows what's going on in her house. She knows what's happening with her children. She knows how they're doing. She knows where they're going, what they're up to. She knows. Why does she know? She's there. She is the strong pillar in her home. She is that authority structure for her children. She is the one who can be praying over her children and be telling the enemy where to go, because the enemy will try to come in to a Christian home and especially try to get into the minds of the children and somehow. And so it is the mother's job to be watching over her home and what's happening and to be praying over her children. She's not lazy. She doesn't eat the bread of idleness. She's not lazy. She is constantly doing things. I'm sure she rests. I don't see that anywhere in here where she's resting, because she's up all hours of the night with that spindle and, you know, just going crazy working for her home. But she's not lazy. Okay? Her children and husband appreciate her and all that she does, and they thank her. So they rise up and call her blessed. And 29 through 30, many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. So spend more time honoring God and your family and less on yourself and your beauty and your needs. Now, there are times when my needs have to come first. Let's say I'm sick or I'm pregnant, you know, then it's we kind of have to, you know, just realize that our needs kind of have to come first at that point. You know, we're giving birth or something, it's kind of, you know, stop everything and let's take care of the expecting mother. Okay, so but what it's saying is, in general, we are to be looking well to everyone in our home's needs more than our own. And this is what is, you know, called being a servant. Really, it's sacrificing your wants and desires for the desires and the needs of those who you love, who are around you. Verse 31, honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring her praise at the city gate. So that just speaks for itself. And then just really quickly, because I know I'm on 13 minutes, but I knew this was going to be a little bit longer because I really just really felt led to read this with you guys today. And so a closing remark is just something to think about. When you're on your deathbed, okay, you're not going to be saying, I wish I would have gone to the top of my business. I wish I would have made more money. I wish I would have made a name for myself. I wish I would have been gone from my children more. No, you're not going to be saying that. You're going to be saying, I wish I would have held on tighter to my precious babies and given them one more kiss before they became an adult and left the home. You're going to be saying, I wish I wouldn't have pushed my husband away so many times when he wanted to be with me. You're going to say, I wish I would have been home more often and provided healthy food for my family and really looked out for my children. You're going to say, I wish I would have been a stable and consistent authority figure to my children and taught them the Word of God. The most important thing a mother can do, I think, is that. And you're going to say, I wish my children and husband praised me instead of resenting me. And so that's just what I wanted to share with you today, just something to think about. And I love everybody who's listening. If you have anything negative to say, I don't want to hear it, and I'll just delete it. Okay? All right. I love you guys. Have a good rest of your weekend.